So, effing Chuck Schumer gave the melon felon permission on Friday to continue gutting the government and tanking the economy.
Yeah, my concern is when folks start waking up and realizing that mom and dad's in hell, their own Social Security is gone away, there's going to be hell to pay.
How about when they realize that grandmama is going to get kicked out of the nursing home because Medicaid pays for 60% of our seniors' nursing home costs, and it is the foundation for ACA. Yeah, Obamacare. Y'all realize that's the same thing, right?
Well, they don't mind if Obamacare goes away because
Right. Obamacare can go away. Just don't get your government hands off my ACA, right?
Folks are just they're gonna take to the streets.
This weekend was the first time that we had a client that said, I do not feel safe here in America. They led with that. And I felt some kind of way because she's female.
Yeah. I never felt 100% safe in the U.S. and, being born and raised there. And, after I was like, we need to get out of here before the next election.
Yeah. And I'm glad I listened.
Me too.
And that's why I had to start figuring out how we could pivot our side hustle, because our plan called for us to work for another 2 years, right? We still had more money that we needed to save.
Yeah. Because we were actually not supposed to be in Portugal until 2025. But you looked at the numbers, did some crunching, that's because you got that brain and, figured it out. And we got the F out sooner than later.
Assuming that we made the pivot with our business. So let's talk about how our side hustle helped us leave the United States and create our dream life here in beautiful Lisbon, Portugal. So, all right, fellow Utopians, welcome back. We are so glad that you're here. We see you all in the chat, and we're going to say hello in a minute. But if you're new here, hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money. We talk about travel and retiring abroad. We help folks who look like us, folks who are getting close to retirement age, or maybe you're not getting close to retirement age, but you forgot to plan for retirement. We help folks who look like us get their money straight so that they can retire on time, or maybe even abroad.
Abroad is good.
In this day and age.
Yeah.
Or maybe even abroad. It's all right, sweetheart. So what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about the side hustle that helped us move to Europe and become Black expats.
That's right.
All right. And we're going to talk about the journey in recreating our other streams of income.
Yeah, because we've had a side hustle for our entire marriage. But our side hustle depended upon us being in the ground in Denver. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so we had to take all of the knowledge, skill sets, and everything that we had built up and learned over the years creating that side hustle and pivot that, right, into something that we could take on the road. So after we talk about that journey, we are going to talk about the challenges that some of you are having. So if you're having challenges, you know the deal. Put a Q in front of your question or comment. If you're having challenges creating another stream of income, we want to start tackling some of those, and we're going to crowdsource that as well as give our ideas.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
But you'll want to stick around until the end, because another client that we talked to has family ties in Portugal, and we've urged him to work on his Portuguese passports for his family members and for those of you who have 1, 2, the first, the second, or even a third generation direct ties to another country. You could get a second passport.
But first, okay, I gotta add on to that. You'll want to get another passport.
You want to get another passport.
First, do what's quick and easy, you have to have choices. So passport, American passport first, or home country passport first. And then you want to get quick residency somewhere else. If you do not feel safe in your home country, if you do not feel respected or served well in your home country, you don't have to stay. You do have choices. This is 2025. And the choices that exist today certainly did not exist 30 to 40 years ago when we were younger. And so we are in a unique time and place in history as we see the Melon creating a whole new world order. And we have to adjust and be nimble. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call, y'all. We got a wake-up call. We were looking at our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy, y'all. Just crazy. Totally insane type stuff,
A lot of debt.
A lot.
A lot of debt. But we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. All right, y'all. If we can do that, you can do it too.
You can
right?
do it.
And so if any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. Subscribe. We are trying to get to 100,000. We are trying to spread the word that Black folks that are not being treated well in their home country have choices.
You got choices.
And we want to make sure that the word is spread. So share this video, hit that like. If this is something that you find interesting, and that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live.
Yes. Yes.
Or drop a new video. All right. Trivia question for today.
Go on.
This is the anniversary of what? This is the anniversary of our marriage, of us being in Portugal, of starting a YouTube channel. What? If you're watching from the future, hey, let us know what you think. All right. So obviously, we for the folks who have been following us for a while, they know that we've always had a side hustle, right? But I remember when I came to you after watching this young Black lady named Kelly Stamps, and some of you have heard this story before, and I said, honey, did you know you can make like real money on YouTube?
And I said, what you talking about, Willis?
And I showed him the video of Kelly Stamps when she's talking about how she spends her $40,000 that she makes per month with her YouTube business. 40,000 per month, y'all. Now, no, we're nowhere close to that.
No.
Nowhere close to that. But that let us know what the possibilities were, right? And the other thing is at the time when I was checking her out, I don't know what she's doing lately. She's young. She's young enough to be my daughter. So it's, some of the stuff she talks about, I was very interested in, but there is a good portion of the stuff that she was talking about that I wasn't too interested in. It's young people stuff. But anyway, at the time she was traveling a lot, and this was during COVID. So she was traveling a lot. And I was like, she's traveling a lot. She was traveling within the United States, but still, she's traveling a lot and still doing the thing and making $40,000 a month. And I was like, sweetheart, we should start a YouTube channel. And what'd you say?
How are you going to make some money off of YouTube? I don't know. You really think so? You really think it'll work? You think people will like come into our channel and look at us? I don't want to look crazy.
So when we were coming up with the plan to start this YouTube channel, because our first choice, y'all know that have been following us, was to, get an RV, and we've been doing video production together. That was our other business since the early 2000s, since 2001 or 2002, something like that. So we were going to get an RV and travel around the United States and make documentaries. That was the dream. So instead of that, we travel around the world and we do YouTube. And Rick didn't want to do it. He did not want to do it.
No.
He's like, you do it. You're the in front of the camera person. So you do it. I'm sorry, y'all. Something's in my eye. I can feel it. So you do it. And I was like, okay. So I said, okay. I said, okay. This was after we went round and round about what the channel name should be. Right. We went round and round about what the channel name should be. And we figured that out, wrote up, what the strategy was going to be and what our angle was going to be. And then you're like, I don't want to do it. You do it.
But you're the face. You're the talent.
Tell him something.
I'm just a handsome guy sitting next to you.
Oh,
I said you're my Johnny Carson and I'm your Ed McMahon.
well, the one, okay. So the thing, the Johnny Carson, Ed McMahon.
Oh,
He's aging himself,
I
y'all.
truly
That
am.
was truly a boomer joke. That was truly a boomer
Yeah,
joke.
disregard
Right? So the one thing that we realized from seeing the Kelly Stamps video is that the sky was the limit and you could make as much money as you wanted to make on YouTube. So one of the things that I learned in this journey is that, yeah, you can make as much or as little money as you want doing YouTube and YouTube affiliated businesses.
Yeah.
You think you're going to have subscribers. Tell me more. Tell me more, Greta. I'm missing something there. I have those doubts. Okay, I'm going to start marking these, and then we'll start talking about the doubts. The doubts. All right, y'all. So the first thing that I realized is you can make as much money or as little money as you want to make. And then the next thing that I realized is that you can work as hard or as little as you want. And working hard does not necessarily mean you're going to make more money. Working harder is not going to necessarily mean that you're going to make more money. So, a lot of us have been caught off guard about what is going on in America. A lot of us have been caught off guard. All right. And a lot of us who thought we were going to tap into our 401k sooner than later have been caught off guard. Okay. And so if you are watching this and you are one of those people, this is what we are talking about. We are talking about the journey that led us to being able to leave before we had saved the money that we wanted to save, right? And you might be in that position too. And yet you want to leave now. You
Right.
want to leave sooner than later. And I'm telling you guys, the luxury of saying, okay, so I'm thinking about summer of 2026 and blah. Okay.
But we always ask, the first question we ask when somebody says that is, why? What's your holdup?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not financial. It's not anything like that. They can do it, but it's like, I'm kind of scared too.
It could be fear. It could be fear. It could be fear. That's not what they're admitting to. They've got other excuses, but the excuses don't really add up. They don't really add up. And my concern for our family too, is that it's going to get more difficult. I think that some countries are not going to allow us to get residency in their countries as easily as they do now. And so that's the concern. And that's why we keep making these videos trying to sound the alarm. So with that, let's go to the chat and see what you all are saying about what anniversary do you think it is. So thank you for all of the happy anniversaries. Let's see. Let's just go to the top here. All right. So, hey, Ryder Skater, good to see you from Orlando. Greta is in the house. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Badia Muhammad, CK. Hey. Who's coming here in June? Who is coming here in June?
16, 17.
You can let that be one of your, and that's what we did. We used an event
Mm-hmm.
to force us to make the moves by that deadline. Okay. And so for us, that was our
Last
Rich
year.
Journeys
Yeah.
meetup here in Lisbon, Portugal. And it's in June as well. And so we said, okay, we're going to be at that meetup. And so our scouting trip / move date is June 2022, because we scouted and basically opened up a bank account and started the process. Right, we were out. We were out, and we had already made the decision. We already had our tax ID.
Yes.
We were out, but we could have just stopped with the tax ID and the bank account. We could have done that. But we chose not to. We chose.
Right.
We were like, no, this feels like home.
Yeah,
This
we're
feels
gonna
like
go
home.
all the way with
And
it.
the reason why I say that is because if you are choosing to come here in June and let that be your scouting trip, one reason to go ahead and get that tax ID and that bank account is because you want to have your assets in different places. Okay. And so this is one of the easiest ways
Yes.
to have cash that is not in dollars. That would be in euros. Okay. And so in the foreseeable future, in the short term, that probably is going to be better than dollars. And you'll want to do that sooner than later. All right. And so if you are going to allow the meetup to be your move date or to be your scouting trip date,
yes.
at least your scouting trip date, come hang out with us. We're going to have fun. We have it's a 2-day event, reception, and all-day trip down to one of the southern wine countries, and it's going to be fun. Hey there, Flutter.
Hey,
bye.
it's raining here.
Pacific
in
Northwest is raining here
it's
too.
Raining here.
It's raining here too. Good afternoon, Wanda.
Hey,
Good
Wanda.
to see you. Hey, Action VJ.
Action VJ.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If a side hustle will help you get out, hit the like button. Hey there, what's the family? Or are you saying OBU family? Hey, Tanya, good to see you. How do I qualify for the scholarship? There is no qualifications for the scholarships. If you want a scholarship to Beyond the Bling, which is our financial independence program for late bloomers, then just send us an email and put scholarship or want a scholarship, need a scholarship in the subject line. We don't need to know why. We're going to trust that if you need a scholarship, that if you don't need a scholarship, that you're willing to just pay the money, right? And that if you're asking, that you truly need it. We're just going to assume that there's no application. All right. Hey, Vanessa is in the house.
Hey,
Valerina. I said hello to Greta, Shanora, Cheryl. Laura is in the house. Healing Girl. Stylists and suitcases. Oh, I said hello to Wanda. All right, Marcus Allen, a newer name. Good to see you in the chat. Vicky's in the house. All right, Stephanie. All right, y'all. We love you. We love you. We love you. What anniversary do you guys think that it is? Let us know in the chat. Want to know in the chat. What is it down there?
I thought it was. You might have.
I don't.
I think it's further down.
Hey, Laura. I know people do not feel safe. People do not feel safe. And 9 times out of 10, it is money that is holding people back. And that's why we're talking about what we're talking about today. I haven't felt safe here in years, but I've been terrified since the election, right? It's ridiculous. Hey, Love Park Connection. Good to see you. All right. Let's get to Shara, high vibe. Good to see you. Carla Pointer. Dion. All right, y'all. I'm looking so excited. I've been watching for years, and this is my first time catching live from the beginning. Really, Lisa? Right. That's great. That is great. We go live every Sunday at 3:30 Eastern time, 1:30 Mountain time. All right. We're from Denver, so we started with Mountain time, 1:30 Mountain time. And since we haven't changed time, it's an hour earlier here. We almost missed y'all last week. Mrs. KP, Hello, my husband and I definitely need a side hustle or two. All right, y'all. We just finished our side hustle challenge. If you are interested in joining the next cohort, sign up for our newsletter so that you know when we launch it, because we only allow 20 to 25 people in. It's a lot of work. I have a second passport, thank God, trying to figure out where to get residency elsewhere too. Hey, Valerina. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you all are trying to get residency, let us know in the chat where you want to get residency to. And also, if you're watching from the future, let us know in the comments. That'd be interesting to hear.
Right.
Because I think, people are talking about a lot of the same places. I think people are talking about a lot of the same places. But
I truly am in action, VJ.
right. Yes, he is. All right. I'm still happy anniversary. Here they are. Congrats. Thank you, Valerina. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Ashira was the first one who got it. YouTube. Happy anniversary and congratulations. Good morning, OBU family. Yes, this is officially the 3rd year of us launching YouTube, y'all. 3 years.
3
And
years.
some of you all have been with us for all 3 years.
From the gate.
From the beginning. From the beginning. And so if you are an original Utopian, let us know. I'm really interested to know. I know some of them. Like, I know Professor is one of the originals. Good Sunday. By the way, did you know that Kelly is newly engaged to be married? No. Oh, I think I saw that. I think I saw something about a ring, Professor. So everybody knows who Kelly Stamps is. She does still come up in my feed. So I did see something about she was doing this or something, but she's done that before. So I didn't know what to believe. She showed a ring before. So I have those doubts. So, okay, you're going to tell us what you mean by that. Rick, it inspires to see you and hear you. See? See? Jametta.
Thank you. Hey, Jametta.
See? That's the thing. And I could have done this by myself, but it wouldn't have been the same. It would have been something different. And I think because one of the things that I realized, but we didn't realize this at the beginning, you all, and this is why you just need to start. Okay. You just need to start. And oh, by the way, everyone watching should have a YouTube channel. Everyone watching should have a YouTube channel. And if you like, if you're like, oh, I don't want to show my face or this and that and the other, you can do a faceless YouTube channel. There's different criteria, right? There's a different strategy to that, but everyone should do a YouTube channel. And so for us, one of the things that we did not expect that Rick put on his list and I put it on my list, and you've heard us say this about this before, is creating the community.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is so important, especially today. And so when we said it before, it was kind of like, oh, this is a nice to have. What we didn't expect was that, a lot of the folks who watch us on a regular basis are going to become friends and family, right? But now, knowing the disruption that is probably coming if Chuck Schumer and company don't grow a pair, which it doesn't look like they're going to, and people don't rise up fast enough, it is really good that we have this community.
Yes.
And right, like that we have each other, that all of us are on the same page, that we are citizens of the world, right? We're citizens of the world, and we don't have to be in the United States. So that's number one. And then number two, this notion that it's about love, right?
Yes.
Because it's certainly not in the United States. And so the community that we've built is going to be the support network that we're all going to need. So you need to build yours on your end, the closest ones, and then the ones that are going to extend, the ones who are in here saying, without Rick, it wouldn't be this community, right? When I saw bruh, I knew I could stay, right? And so And that's community all over the world, y'all. All over the world. And so what we want from you for you is we want you also to have that support system all over
All
the
over the
world.
world.
I mean, we literally have folks that we know we can call and say, okay, I'm about to come your way. I'm about to come wherever it
Oh, yeah.
is. You know, can you let me know where to go, what to do, da, 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 boop, da, boop, you know, as someone who's on the ground. Because the bottom line is, and y'all know this, I don't know what's about to jump off. And I know it seems like it's just business as usual. People are going to work and coming home, and Little League is going on and blah, blah, blah. And there was the Super Bowl, and, you know, Kendrick did what he did and all of this stuff. And it seems like it's just normal times, but it's not. It is not. And so the ancillary thing that we thought was a nice to have now is a need to have. And we all need to have a support system and a community that believes the same things that we believe. Number one, that America is not necessarily the greatest country on earth, right? And number two, we don't have to be there if we don't want to.
It is not the only place you got to be.
Right? Right? And number three, we don't have to keep up with the Joneses. We're not playing that game anymore. That's the game we're not going to play, because that's the game that keeps us enslaved. Right? And so part of the one thing about moving out of the United States and moving here 2 years, well, actually 3 years before we thought, if we count, right, like 2.5 to 3 years before we thought we could, is because number one, we started the side hustle, but number two, we changed the way we look at money, and we look at money as freedom units, right? And so when you're spending money on stuff, you got to realize you are giving up something else. There's always an opportunity cost. And so had we kept spending money the way we used to back in the day, back in our bling bling days, back in our Jaguar days, like if we were spending money back like back in them days, there's no way we could have done this. There's no way we could have done this. Now I could not care less. And when I was back in the United States and I was in folks' homes and saw all of the stuff, Americans have so much stuff, and saw all the stuff, I was like, oh my God. I felt claustrophobic. I felt claustrophobic with all that stuff, and it's just all around us. So, y'all. All right. So that was one of the biggest things. And so, as we said, everyone here should have a YouTube channel. The other thing is there's a direct tie between strategic, purposeful effort and the amount of money you can make. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that you can work hard, as I said earlier, and not necessarily make more money because you don't know what you're doing. I'm a part of a cohort from 2022, from the Stephanie Perry Rashida Dow cohort, the Exodus Summit cohort. And when I look at the amount of effort that some others have put in, it is no less than the effort that we've put in, but they've gotten dramatically different results, dramatically different. And dramatically different. Like we're almost at 80,000 subscribers, right? Are we going to reach 80,000 today? I don't know. We'll see. If you are not subscribed and you've been watching us for a while, come on now.
Go on, hit that subscribe
Go ahead and
button.
subscribe. And so we're almost at 80,000, and I'm looking at a lot of these folks, and they're still under 10,000. A lot of them still under 5,000. Some of them under 3,000. And they still have 200, 300, 400 videos. And so you don't have to work hard to make money. I'm letting you know. You do not have to work hard. You do not have to. You have to be disciplined. Right. But you don't have to work hard. And then the other thing is we have to take the shortcuts. We have to be willing to pay a little money for other people who have done the thing before to tell us how to do it. And so I started spending money back in 2000, back in 2021. I started spending money on how to, because, I knew the business part of it. So I'm trying to make sure that this thing turns off and we don't hear those sounds. I knew the business part of it, but I did not know YouTube, and I didn't know, what's,
I'm
how to create content. Yeah.
I'm still learning YouTube.
Well, I'm still learning YouTube too. There's always more to learn. There's always more to learn. You can always get better, right? But the thing about it is that you shouldn't just make videos and put them out there and think that that's going to do something. That's true with any side hustle. That is true with any side hustle. Pay a few dollars and learn from somebody else that you trust, right?
Yeah.
And so I took 2 courses from Exodus Summit, and I think they still offer them. Well, they're not through Exodus Summit. One is through Exodus Summit, and then the other one is through Stephanie. And then I took a course through Thinkific as well, and that lasted for almost a year. And then I did a couple of workshops through Think Media and some other folks like that, right? And so all of these folks who are into the business of YouTube and from the ancillary businesses that can grow from YouTube, I took courses from them, and I paid the money and I took courses. And so I think that that's what we mean by being more strategic in your efforts, right? It's better to spend, a couple of $100 and take a boot camp than to make videos for 2 years and still not be monetized.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do.
Well, and it get disheartening when you do that and you don't take, boot camps or whatever to help you get along, and it frustrates you.
Exactly.
And then you get to the point of, oh, I ain't making enough money. And we've known YouTubers that have done that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I mean, there's people that we followed.
Reached out to them when we were just starting out.
Yeah, reach out to them to collaborate. They never got in touch with us.
No, they said we don't. Which one said we don't collaborate? We don't do that.
Yeah, but they didn't say that to us. They said that in a video as they were saying goodbye because because they weren't making any money. But see, now here's the other thing. Like, they were depending upon YouTube to pay for 100% of their living expenses. Now, obviously, if you're bringing in 40,000 a month, that shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
But there's 2 things that happened with Kelly Stamps. First of all, she's young and pretty. Okay, I'm not. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, at the time that she was talking about making that amount of money, she had about 500,000 subscribers. And I don't know how long she had been on this track, because she'd had a YouTube channel for a while. But, you start niching down, and I guess she found her rhythm. But she got lucky. She had a couple of videos really blow up, and it was COVID time. And so a lot of people didn't have anything else to do. And so she blew up during COVID, or right as COVID was starting, somewhere around that time. And then next thing you know, she's making that kind of money. But she kept honing her skills and doing all of the things so that she continues to grow. Because the bottom line is that just being pretty and getting up there and talking some stuff is not going to be enough for longevity, right? There's not that much pretty unless you're going to start taking some clothes off and go on to OnlyFans or some nonsense. That's not nonsense. Look, if that's the way you make money, I'm not mad at you. Not today. Maybe yesterday, but not today. We not. Who says Uncle Rick? Uncle Rick is a staple. Look, there is no judgment, because it would be different if we had the type of economic system that actually was a meritocracy, right? Like, America has lied for the past 400 years that it was a meritocracy, because maybe compared to what they left in Britain at the time, Maybe in comparison to that, it was a meritocracy, but it was never a true meritocracy ever, right? Because if that was the case, we would not have the melon felon. He would not be in office right now. He never would have gotten elected. Heck, he never would have had his own show, for that matter. He is a manufactured cookie cutter, cardboard character. And people voted for him, and now they're turning around and they're wondering, what the heck, what did I do? And it's like, you're trying to find out, but this is affecting all of us. And maybe this is the shakeup that folks need. Thank you, Ubuntu King. Ubuntu. That sounds Swahili. For the super sticker, that is very, very generous. Very generous. All super thanks, super sticker, and super thanks, super sticker, super chat. Money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That is our financial independence program for late bloomers. All right. Thank you so much. All right. I love those. I have those doubts. If you're talking, Allison, if you're talking about the side hustle, we can have doubts and do it anyway, because the only person who is going to get embarrassed or care is you, right? And at first, ain't nobody going to be watching anyway. So you might as well practice in public, right? As my friend Stephanie Perry says, practice in public. Yeah. If you look back at those first videos that we did, I don't think they're totally cringy. They're a little cringy. Well, some of them are a little cringy.
A lot of people start out like that.
Exactly.
A lot of people, you got to get used to stuff.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
You'd be surprised. You truly would be surprised.
So yeah, I mean, just do it. When you started your YouTube, I bet Rick said, think you're going to have subscribers. Yeah. How do you know, Greta? How do you know? That's just how he thinks. Who's going to subscribe to us? Don't nobody want to hear what we got to say? I think you did say something like that.
I don't think I said that.
I think you did say something like that. I think he did. What are some good investments to make to prepare to leave ASAP? Okay. Investments in stock are for long term, y'all. All right. And today they're for really long term. Again, I'm going to operate and speak as if what has happened in the last 45 days with the melon felon is going to continue. Okay. Because ain't nobody stopped him yet. Nope. And he ain't listening to no courts. So let's assume that, because that's the worst case scenario. And if it's not the worst case, if doesn't happen and it's not as bad, then no harm, no foul, right? All right. So understanding that this is not going to be one of those 1 year dips and then it's going to come back, right? And so 4 years from now, 5 years from now, you can start counting on that money, because that's what conventional wisdom says. Conventional wisdom says the money that you need between now and like 3.5 to 4 years from now, right, should be in cash or near cash, right? Money market accounts, CDs, what else? High yield savings, yeah. Right? Things like that, right? Things that are basically safe. You're just going to make some interest and call it a day. So, because all money should be making money for you. So you definitely don't want to have a bunch of money in your checking account. No. You just put enough money in there to pay your bills and to do what you need to do.
Or in a simple savings account.
Or in a simple savings account, because usually it's less than 1%. So that's cash and that's investments. For investments in stock, again, you should have brokerage accounts. You should have your IRA if you're still working, and all of that. We are looking at investing and making sure we have international index funds and ETFs in our portfolio, as well as ones from the BRIC nations. Okay, so that is so that there's some growth as he tanks the American market. As far as buying in the dip and all of that stuff, we'll do that. That's another video for another day. But this time, instead of 5 years, I'm thinking 7 to 8 years before it comes back. I'm thinking it's going to be another one of those, like it was during the Great Depression, right? I mean, even under Obama, it took about 3 to 4 years for it to really start coming back to pre-Great Recession levels. Okay. And then it went up from there and up and up and up and up. Right. But now with what he's doing, and you got to realize that if he continues to fire like this, 20% of Americans are going to be out of a job. That's Great Depression levels. Now, as far as gold and silver and things like that, the time to have done that was last year. Now you're buying high because everybody is uncertain about the dollar and uncertain about the stock market, as well they should be. And so they're flocking to buy gold. They're flocking to buy silver. So now gold and silver is at its highest, and it does go down. So it's kind of too late for gold and silver. As far as real estate investments,
yeah, that's hard to.
That's a tough one too. As we said, there's a lot of dynamics that are going on. Number one, the Canadians are selling their homes. And so there's a lot of markets that are flooded right now. They're flooded, and that means prices are depressed. You still have high interest rates in comparison to what they were pre-pandemic and the early part of the pandemic, right? And so you can only ask so much. You can't ask as much as you were asking when the interest rates were lower. And that goes as far as buying is concerned too. Now, that said, would I buy when the fit hits the sham? Would I buy real estate? Maybe. It depends on how safe America is. Like, are people roaming the streets? And I know I sound crazy.
Yeah, it does sound crazy.
I know I sound crazy, but y'all, if people's Social Security and stuff like that is going away and people are desperate and 20% is out of, see, here's the difference between the Great Depression and today. During the Great Depression, for all of Hoover's faults, he didn't hate America, right? He didn't hate Americans. He thought he was he probably had some ego problems and stuff like that, obviously, right? He thought he was doing the right thing. Now, the melon felon might think he's doing the right thing, but I don't think he likes America, and I don't think he gives a F-U-C-K about anybody outside of himself. And that includes his kids. And that includes his kids. Okay. I really don't. And so during the Great Depression, there were soup lines and things like that. Right. And then, FDR got elected and the Great New Deal, and he started all the safety net stuff. Right. But that's not going to happen this time. Like, this is forced. These are not economic forces that were about the fact that we didn't have enough regulation. And so some people were doing some greedy stuff and they crashed the stock market. This is not that. This is purposeful. Therefore, the people who are going to look to the government and say, look, we're what's going on here? Say, this is what you voted for. I had a mandate. You told me.
That's what he's saying. I had a mandate.
You told me. So when I say would I invest in real estate? Are there going to be anybody who can afford the rents? Are the states, are the blue states doing goofy stuff like punishing homeowners by saying that if somebody is out of work, they don't have to pay rent for a year or two, like they did during COVID, right? And then I don't know how some of those, like you just own one other property, right? You're an accidental landlord. How they got their money back, I have no idea. It's one thing to say corporate landlords. It's another thing to say something about somebody who owns grandma's house and maybe mom's house in their own. I mean, give me a break. These people, we don't have a lot of money to be floating folks for 1, 2, 3 years when you still have a mortgage that you still have to pay, right? And so from that standpoint, there's a lot of things that I would have to think about before I invested in real estate in the United States. I, at this point, am more inspired to buy real estate in an emerging market than I am in a market that has been around, because I'm not sure what's going on with North America and with Europe, with Putin doing what Putin's doing. I didn't mean to sound so gloom and doom. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't. Stop spending money and save, save, save. We are investigating how to open up brokerage. I know it is possible. I know people do it, but I want to know how liquid millionaires open up brokerage accounts in other countries, because I think one of the things that we really need to all be investigating. So one, we all need to have a YouTube channel. Number two, we should all be investigating how we can have our assets diversified as far as currency goes, right? And as far as markets go, because the powers are shifting. They're shifting. If you're 88 right now, or maybe even 80, like I probably wouldn't be doing too much of anything, but I would if I were 70, and definitely younger than that. Definitely younger. And why do I say that? Because I don't think that it's going to change. It's going to flip upside down in 10 years, but I do think it could flip upside down in 15 to 20 years. And I think it could be like this, diagonal, right? In 10 years. Assuming that everything the melon felon is trying to do that he gets to do, that's probably what's going to happen. A YouTube channel looks like fun. I've wanted one, but have zero topic or subject matter. Okay, CK, and don't want it to feel like a job. CK, don't tell us you have zero topic or subject matter. Don't tell us that, because we know how brilliant you are. So I don't even want to hear it. Look, you can talk about anything. Like we were in our last challenge. Homeboy was a teacher at the high school level, and he started tutoring in math and science. I think tutoring in math and science, and was thinking that that's what he was going to do. And like, if you did that for a job, it probably would feel like a job.
It's going to feel like continuation of a job.
Why did his channel turn into a metaphysical channel? Because that was one of his passions that he had also studied and had skills in, but had never necessarily done it professionally, right? It doesn't have to be something that you've done professionally. We're not professional travelers, and we're certainly not certified financial advisors, right? So, and we're certainly not professional retire abroaders. I don't even know what that is.
You would be surprised, CK. You'll surprise yourself, for real. You really would.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say that. Well, I don't have anything to say. Who's going to want to come and listen to us?
I got an answer for him. A good investment to make to help you get out ASAP is in the Move Abroad Toolkit. You can find that in the description below. The Move Abroad Toolkit. That is one that an investment that you can make. And then another investment y'all can make is an investment into how to do whatever it is you want to do to make another stream of income. Okay? I know I have it in here. Move to Portugal, summer meetup. Maybe I don't. So, but it is in the description below. I could have sworn I had it in here. But anyway, there it is. Wait, it didn't all copy. Doggone it. All right, let me get it for y'all. Let me get it. And I will put it in the chat. So yeah, so that's because I didn't feel like I answered your question. I felt like I gave you all doom and gloom and just negativity. But if you don't want that money, if you don't need the money in the stock market for another 10 to 15 years or so, continue to invest. And as I said, we will talk about buying in the dip and all of that stuff. All right. My best advice right now is if you are investing, continue to invest. Do not pull out. If you have it set to a schedule, continue the schedule. Hey, Roxanne.
Hey, Roxanne.
Thank you. I'm ready to leave right now. I just don't make enough money at all. Please help. Okay. So the first thing that you need to do is see exactly where every single penny of your money is going. And you may think you know, but unless you've done it, unless you've gone through, unless you use an app or you've done a spreadsheet, you probably don't know where every single penny is going. So make sure you know where every single penny is going. That's number one. And once you figure that out, if there's not a big gap between your needs and some of your wants, right? Because we don't want a miserable life, and the amount that's coming in, then yes, you're going to have to make more money. You're going to have to make more money. And so, or you're going to have to really lessen your expenses because it takes money to move. It doesn't take a lot of money if you do two things. One, you decide on places that you want to go because you can just be a traveler.
Yeah.
Get you 2 suitcases full of stuff and get out of Dodge and take all your stuff, put it in storage, put it in Nana's garage or something. Sell half your stuff and put the rest until you find your abode in the garage and you can leave, right? But you still need to have at least $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 saved, right? And you need a remote job. And you need to decide on places that are within a certain budget. And then the other thing, if you're thinking about traveling and doing it that way, is you travel in regions. Okay. You don't say, okay, so I'm going to go to Mexico, then I'm going to go to Portugal, then I'm going to go to Cairo, then I'm going to go to Asia, then I'm going to go to Uruguay. No. You start in Mexico, you go all the way down Central America till you get to South America and then you hop to the next continent and you travel that continent. That's how you do it. And that's how you save money with those flights in between, right? You could conceivably travel for $50 a day. So what is that? $50 times 365. I should know this. Most Americans that are watching this channel can make that money, right? You can make that money. So, and then there's lots of other ways to cut costs. House sitting. So you're not paying rent while you're out there, right? House sitting. And you can house sit all around America too, right? Save money. So remote job, and then find places that cost less. And that's another way that you can start saving money, stacking money, because if you can find a remote job that makes you triple the 18,000, quadruple the 18,000, which shouldn't be hard for most of the people who are watching this channel, but you can live off of $18,000 a year. Now you can start putting money away.
Yeah.
And if you talk to your tax person, you might even be able to knock off most of your taxes too. Because if you're bopping around, then you're not necessarily having to pay in all of those places. But you got to talk to a tax person. We're not it. We are not it. But I know that there's a way to really lessen your taxes when you are bopping around. So if you need to start a side hustle, and you don't want to wait until we start a new cohort, you can book one-on-one time with us. And we've done a lot of side hustle videos too. That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. We will be in Mexico in September. We will be for Rick's birthday.
Lord willing.
Yes, unless some craziness happens. My last work date is 12/31/27. Okay. I thought you were going to say 26, but okay. I can stop working today, but my sense of security and safety is connected to my 2 pensions. Social Security with will impact with no impact on my plans, current and pending one. If you are in CK's position, that does not mean that you should not seek residency in another place
Definitely
today.
seek residency in another place.
Okay? Give yourself options. Panama, and it doesn't matter if you want to live there or not. Because if the fit hits the sham in the United States, I bet you will be down there in that humidity talking about where's to turn the AC on, right? Because I don't like no heat and humidity, but I tell you one thing. I like guns and craziness and crazy white folks MAGA white folks, even less.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, right? I'm not about that life.
Get your residency somewhere else.
So Panama, you only have to check in once a year, something like that. I think even Costa Rica is pretty easy in that regard. Of course, Mexico. And the thing is, like, before those relationships are ruined, y'all, because they just kicked South Africa out of the United States, the ambassador. What we doing? Listening to that apartheid king stupid butthole. They are trying to pick a fight with South Africa and call the white folks down there refugees. White folks down there are like, no, we good. Yeah, we good. Don't worry about us, big pimp.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor and get your residency somewhere else.
Yes.
Get a couple of them.
Yes. Absolutely.
While they last, as they used to always say, get them while they last. While
they last, right? Seriously, folks.
For real.
Seriously. You're going to get fatter while the window is getting smaller. Make your move, people. Yep. Don't count on Mexico since the melon felon picked a fight. I know it's getting harder. It's getting harder. And look, because Stephanie and those guys went down there and got their residency on that weird little loophole where you don't have to prove how much money you make. And the person that they were working with got 12 of them, their cards, right then, there on the spot. Yeah. So they got theirs. They snuck in the back door and got their green cards through a loophole. A day and a half later, they closed that loophole. So latest word is it's gone, y'all. It's gone. So I'll be in Portugal in June 2025. Yay, can't wait to see you. I can't seem to pull the trigger on the IF and bank account yet, but I will be scouting in June. Pull the trigger. Yeah, pull the trigger for at least the reason I said, y'all. And here, I'm going to reiterate this because I see that I hope we've got 450 people watching. Hopefully we have 450 likes. But at the very least, this gives you an opportunity to have a bank account in Europe.
In Europe, yes.
Okay. And so go ahead and do it. And that doesn't mean you're paying taxes on it. They ain't paying no interest. You can't pay. You've already paid taxes on the money that's in there. Okay. So having a bank account outside of the country does not mean that you're trying to launder money. Like I know, CK, you know this, but for other folks, it doesn't mean all of that. It's not like back in the days where the mafia had, bank accounts in Cayman Islands and all of this stuff. Those days are still here. People still do that kind of stuff. Which is why you have to fill out an FBAR if you've got more than
More than
$10,000
10,000. I was going to say that.
within the year. So you fill that out just once a year, and it's not to tax, just so that you are acknowledging that
you have money offshore.
that this legit money that you had in America, you have, or wherever your home. Well, yeah, America, because America's the only one that you now have over here, over there, or wherever. And so,
yeah, because everybody always, even we're looking at a Swiss bank account also, but how everybody used to always put their money in Swiss bank accounts.
yeah,
And it's,
yeah,
it's not hard to get an account here.
yeah. And not only that, America has a law that any American who has money abroad, that the banks must report it to the IRS, y'all. Okay. So that's the thing. They already know.
But quiet is kept. We liable not, well, we're not, but
What?
the U.S. is liable not to have an IRS.
Yeah.
The way the orange turd is going.
Exactly. I need a working side hustle. So here's the deal, y'all. And we haven't even gotten through some of the other things that we learned on this journey, and then we want to get to the challenges that you're having. So one of the challenges Allison's talking about, I need a working side hustle. Here's the thing, because y'all know that even on YouTube, it takes a while to get monetized. That doesn't mean that you can't make money from day one. That does not mean, if you already have a little bit of an audience, that could mean that, you've got 15 or 20 people that when you put something on LinkedIn about this or that job, you're going to get some responses, or on Facebook, right? Like if you have a little bit of a following, then you can make money. Okay. So it is in whatever services or products that you are trying to offer outside of YouTube, because YouTube is just one income stream, right? We said multiple income streams, right? And so what else do you want to do? Y'all have said that you want merch. So Rick's working on merch. Of course, we're going to have t-shirts for the meetup. Now that's not a moneymaker. That's just t-shirts for the meetup because it's fun to have t-shirts for the meetup. But, but for other things, you could be, if you're an artist, you can be showing people online what you're doing and selling merch, right? Selling your paintings in print, maybe even selling originals for a lot of money, and your artwork on wearable art, right? There's just lots of things that you can do. That person could also start having Zoom workshops once a week and charge for that, right? Like there's lots of ways to make money. And so the question is what do you want to do? Like I've started crocheting. There are so many crocheting channels, and those crocheting channels, they sell what they show you how to make. They also sell it. So if you want to buy theirs and pretend like you made it or whatever,
Yeah.
So we say that to say that start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. But think about what else do you want to offer? What other services or what other fun things do you want to offer? And so we started selling seats in Beyond the Bling when we launched our channel 3 years ago. We had 0 subscribers, Allison. And we launched and said, we figured out how to retire early. We cracked the code. And we want to teach you what we learned. And we got people to sign up. One person signed up that very day, and paid the money.
Yes, she did.
Okay. So, and again, that's with 0 subscribers. And the person who signed up, they knew us. They already knew us, right? So they knew, okay, well, Halisi's about business. Halisi gets stuff done. Rick's her husband, so he must be about business too. This person who bought it was my friend, or I would say acquaintance, good acquaintance. And so yeah, I mean, we already had some creds with this person, but still. So don't sell yourself short, y'all. Do not sell yourself short. This is less about how to start a side hustle. We've done those videos. This is more about getting past the procrastination. And why and I'm so glad that we started this channel, because the other thing, I'm going to just say this, I'm going to take this off screen right quick. One of the other things that we get out of doing this YouTube channel, besides the money, is the give back to community. So we talked about how we were able to build community, and that we didn't expect that. And
Yeah.
that community now is part of our support system. They've become friends and family. So we've talked about that. Where was I going? I'm sorry. I just lost my train of thought.
Community.
Yeah, I know. Okay, wait. I had it down here. I don't know. I lost it. So it'll come back. It will come back. My concern is that Portugal is going to make residency more difficult. Yes, they are. Are there indications of that now? No.
No, not now, but
No. But people are fleeing the United States right now. People are fleeing, and it's been in the news here. They've really been talking about the money that is fleeing the United States, and how banks have seen a huge influx of dollars coming in to the banks here. And so I think that is the first indication. It's easier to move money than it is to move your life, right? So it's going to get more difficult. No, there's nothing politically that they've been talking about around that. Around changing the immigration policies, they have not been talking about that. But as more people move and the housing market starts to feel even more pinched, that's what's going to happen. That is definitely what's going to happen. So hopefully I'll remember what I was going to say. So you can email us at hello@ourblackutopia.com. hello@ourblackutopia.com. My husband and I plan on moving to Panama in June 2027. Congratulations for making that decision. He is already retired. I want to wait to increase my Social Security benefit. I'm 60. So do we just go now? Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
Just get the residency now.
Yeah, get your residency now.
And then y'all can decide, but just get the residency now. Start working on that now. As a matter of fact, we are going to too. So get that now. Again, you only have to check in once a year if you want to work another 2 years. But I would do an ROI. I'd do an ROI on that, Catherine, and see if it's really worth it. Like, life in Panama is less expensive, right? And so you are adding to the stress of your body, your mind and soul for a few more years to get something that might not be available, or might not be what you expect it to be, right? Like, I don't think they can do whatever they want to do. I don't think they're stupid enough to turn it off like a light switch. I think they're going to try to privatize it, is what I think. I think they want to put that money into private hands, so it will just steadily decrease until it's negligible. That's what I'm thinking. But you never know. You never know. So you need to do a return on investment to see if it's really worth it for you to stay in that country for another couple of years. But in any event, I would get the residency.
Get your residency.
When?
Now. Yesterday. Get your residency.
Besides Mexico, do you know of any other countries that do not require you to live there full time or part time? Yeah. So, hey, Diane Marie, you can Google that. And I don't mean that to be bitchy because I only know what I know. And so besides Panama, Costa Rica, and Mexico, do you know of any others? And Mexico's the only one that I know that doesn't make you check in except for when it's time to renew. Those other ones make you check in.
What about Ghana? Do you have to be in country?
I don't know. In Ghana, that's a residency program too, even for Black folks. It's not citizenship, you guys, because I looked it up. I got the list. But yeah, those are the only three. If y'all know, if help Dion out, if y'all know any other countries that you can get residency and not have to stay in country, do you think it's smart to go to Panama with the looming threat of U.S. wanting to take over Panama? Pam, I think half the UN is going to rise up if that fool tries to act like he's Russia. I don't think that they're going to try and use military force. My understanding is BlackRock is buying it from whichever company is managing it right now. But people are not going to just sit back and let him.
No, not a sovereign nation.
Yeah, I mean they let Putin do what Putin, but
Yeah.
But not really though, right? Not without ramifications. But yeah, I'm not taking Panama off the list. Should we take Panama off the list?
No.
Yeah. I lurked on the channel before I subscribed. Hey, Pinky. How long did you lurk? How long did you lurk?
Behind the scenes.
I've been following OBU since Halisi interviewed with Picky Girl Travels the World before the Mexican residency occurred. Hey, thank you, CK. Yeah, we were still in the United States.
We were in Denver.
We were in Denver. I did that from Denver. Yeah. I'm interested in doing a faceless YouTube channel. Does your side hustle challenge help with starting a channel? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I have a YouTube channel, Living Healthy Channel. Living Healthy Channel. Okay, at Living Healthy Channel. Wow, how'd you get that? Just started in March 2025. I'm surprised nobody else had that name. I'm surprised, Deneen.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, check out what Denise's doing, y'all. Check out but do not subscribe unless you're going to watch her, okay? Because that hurts the algorithm. Only subscribe if you're going to watch. But check out what she's doing. Chuckle did a Feinstein and betrayed us all. Chuckle or Chucky?
Chucky. Try it.
Oh, Schumer.
Chuck Schumer.
Right? Dianne Feinstein, I'm assuming you meant. Mm-hmm. And the other person who always betrays us is that Maine senator who always talks a good game. Her and Lisa from Alaska. They always talk a good game and then vote right with and vote with the melon felon every single time. How long did it take to become monetized on YouTube? Is it based on the amount of videos or how many likes, et cetera, et cetera? So to become monetized on YouTube, I think it went back to 1,000 subscribers and
4,000 watch hours.
Watch hours, y'all. So it's not about likes. It's about people watching your videos. At one time, it seemed like they had taken that down to 500 subscribers, 1,000 watch hours. So when we got monetized, it was 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, and we got monetized in less than 3 months. No, in about 3 months. About 3 months, we got monetized. So yeah, and once we got monetized, like, okay, so here's the deal. YouTube only pays out if you accrue at least $100 worth of ad revenue. And so once you accrue $100 worth, then they'll pay out. So that might take you 2 months. But for us, we were getting a few $100s from the gate. Okay. And so I'm not sure what other channels do or have done, but that's how it works for us.
What you're doing too.
Yeah. That's how it worked for us. Less than or about 3 months, and we started getting a few $100s from the gate. But again, we were doing other stuff, right? We were doing other things. We had our program that we had launched, and well, figuring out what your YouTube channel is going to focus on is my question. Hey, Nina.
Find a need.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. But I think what in the way that we talk about it in the Side Hustle Challenge is that um, you've got to figure out what you like to talk about, what you are interested in, what services you want to offer. What do you want to talk about? What skills do you want to share? What life learned lessons do you want to share? What lived experiences do you want to share, right? That's the question you need to ask yourself. What do people say you're good at? Right? Because sometimes people would call me, and they would call me for advice on something that had nothing to do with what I did for a living,
Just want to
necessarily. But if you look at that, there's probably a pattern that's telling you something, right? And so you need to decide, what you would like to talk about and would want to talk about indefinitely. And I've always been a money person. Always. My mom used to say when I was 10 years old, "Ooh, Halisi, you so tight." I'd leave my allowance at home in a minute talking about, "Oh, Mom, can we get ice cream?" She's like, "You got your allowance?" "Oh, I left it at home. Oops." But I tell you one thing, I saved the money, and now I'm helping her. So she should be happy that I was so tight with money. But when I ran for office, it was all about the money. It was all about entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
And economic equity. So this is something that I've always been into, and who's not into money, right? And then Rick and I have always been into travel as a couple. That's always been a part of our life. Even when we didn't have any money, we found a way to at least go down somewhere and do something. Somewhere, right? So yeah, you've got to ask those questions of yourself, and then once you ask yourself those questions, and you start seeing, things start gelling, then you say, okay, so and then who am I talking to, right? And be very, 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 very specific. And I bet you all of you could say who we talk to. Who does our Black Utopia talk to? I bet you all of you could tell us that in the chat. I bet you could. All right. Started following you all at about 300 subscribers. Yes, Ballerina. Subscribed right away. Saw Rick's transformation right in front of my eyes to the guy he is today. Yep. So 300 subscribers, y'all. We were still in Denver. And had not even made the move out of Denver, because we went from Denver to LA to Portugal to Mexico, back to pack and back to Portugal. Boom, 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 boom. All of that within like 6 months. And everybody followed us along on that journey. And that's what I'm saying, right? Like and then the other thing is, we created a side hustle that worked with what we were doing at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
And so once we decided it was YouTube, because we already knew video production and stuff like that. We already knew how to edit. But we knew editing took time. And see, that's the thing about knowing. We knew editing took time. And so we decided that we were going to go live, because at the time we were trying to move out of the country, empty our house for the most part, get my father situated in some type of assisted living situation, try to convince Gloria Vince and my mom to find a different living situation, and which didn't work, as y'all know. We were trying to do and get residency in Mexico and Portugal at the same time. We were doing all of that at the same time as we were launching our YouTube channel. And so the only way that we could remain consistent is to go live. It's like we knew we could scratch out an hour a week, because at the time there was only 30 people showing up. Ballerina was one of them, right? CK was one of them. And so we would go live for about an hour. Yeah, about 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. So yeah, we love you guys, and we so appreciate that you have been part of our community, fellow Utopian for that long. I've been looking at Portugal and Ireland. Yeah, Ireland is pretty interesting. They have some
Yeah.
interesting opportunities there as well. Rick made me comfortable about doing this with Social Security. So y'all know, again, Greta's telling when we first got here, that was the plan. The plan was to live here on Rick's Social Security because number one, we knew that it was going to take a minute for YouTube to start paying anything substantially.
Mhm.
But it started supplementing right away, and all of that money just went into every dollar should have a job, right?
Put it to work.
Every dollar should have a job. So it went right into the fund that we wanted it to go into. But we created a life where we didn't have to depend upon it. And that's the thing that you need to do. Okay. You need to create a life where you don't have to depend upon it. How did we do that? We said, okay, well, all we have to live on is $2,700 a month. Where can we live on $2,700 a month? And that way, with a nice emergency fund stashed away, you have no stress. Now, for those of you who want to get out now and you don't have that emergency fund, you're going to have to find a place that's even cheaper than that. Excuse me. And so all of the money that you bring in, you can stash that away. And build that big emergency fund so that you can have that life where you don't feel stressed at all. It's nice, y'all. It is nice every month when it's time to do the bills that there's absolutely 100%, absolutely no stress. It's a nice feeling. And I want that for you. I want that for you. So design a life where you can do that. And it's amazing. Like I'd rather take less vacations and not be in America and not have to show up at somebody's job and have my entertainment be walking along the river, Teju, right? Or walking around the castle or going to a museum on the free day, right? I'd rather have that life than be showing up at somebody's job and stressed out, right? And making buku bank, or we never made buku, but buku in comparison to 2,700, right? But no time to spend it, and then spending it all on, $10 eggs and nonsense like that. Hey, Patsy. Hello, I'm interested in obtaining residency in Panama, Portugal, and Thailand. Okay. So we know the person that we use that can help you with Panama and Portugal will be in the description below. I'm not sure that I've put it there yet, but it will be there after we are finished going live. And then Thailand, even though Thailand has shown up on the list, and we did do a video that said what the requirements are, I don't remember because that was a minute ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if Thailand requires you to stay in country, Patsy. So if you're talking about getting residency in all three of them at the same time, that might be a little bit challenging. You could definitely do Panama and one of these other ones at the same time, because we know, as we said, you only have to check into Panama once a year. Right. Portugal, you have to stay in country for 8 months for 2 years, and then 8 months for the 3 years for the renewal. Thailand, I'm not sure. I don't remember. So if anybody knows, help a sister out and let her know in the chat if Thailand has a stay in country requirement or not. But yeah, the company that we recommend for Panama and Portugal will be in the description below after this video. If you're watching from the future, there's probably already there. Hey. I hate to leave the house. Every time you leave the house, you got to spend money. But I just bought a dozen eggs about 4 hours ago. It was €2.85 for the large. and they still had a couple of feathers on them and some chicken poop.
Chicken poop.
And some chicken poop. They always have chicken poop on them. The stuff is pretty chains. Is pretty chains and invisible chains, right? Right? Pretty chains like the bling bling, right? Or the invisible chains of that, they try to keep you in debt and all of that. When you say we all need a YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be relocated. It doesn't have to be relocated. Oh no, Angel. What we're saying that is that everyone should have multiple streams of income, and one of those streams of income should be a YouTube channel. That's what I'm saying.
Multiple YouTube channels after you get them established.
Yes, because you do have to be strategic, and it does take some brain power at first. You are young and pretty to those who can't. Oh, thank you. Right? See. Right. All right. That is so sweet. She made over 400,000. I'm assuming that you meant Kelly Stamps.
Kelly Stamps.
Because yeah, she's making bank. I just got my toolkit. Love it. Yay. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. It had I have a 3-year contract teaching, but I want out now. No emergency cash fund yet, but I do have assets. Is my move date 3 years, or can I move it up sooner? We would definitely need more information, Anna. But I would say it could be sooner. I'm not sure what the assets are. Like so for instance, and y'all need to check out the one that we did last week, because last week we took 5 different families that sent us all their financial information, and we broke down what they needed to do to get out ASAP. Yeah. Okay. And we'll do one of those again too, because there were some other interesting ones. I was just trying to pick ones from all different categories. So, but anyway, so one of the people who sent us stuff, was that or one of our clients? I don't know. I don't remember. It's too much. But anyway, they didn't have a lot of money saved, but they did have a car that was worth about 30,000 and was basically paid off. All right. So after whatever they owed, they could get about 30,000 for it. So, all right. So now you got 30,000, maybe you got 10,000 saved or something like that. Now you got 40,000. All right. Now we're talking about something, right? And so I think the thing about it is, Anna, is how much money are you going to need, and where is it going to come from? Once you can answer that, it's time to go. Right. We were looking at somebody's stuff last week, and they were able to save 100% of their income. Once they can save 100% of your income, then you can quit, right? It's time to retire if you can save 100% of your income. So where's your money? How much money do you need, and where's it going to come from? So if you decide that I can live off of $1,500 in beautiful Querétaro, Mexico, where's that $1,500 going to come from? Right. And once you figure that out, you can go. So it, and it's really is as simple as that, right? Like pack up and go. Once you know that you have enough money to pack up your stuff, sell it, put it somewhere, right? And get yourself there and established, right? Either in an Airbnb or whatever have you, then you can go. Obviously there's some little details in between there and things like that. But what I would do in that situation is, and I don't know how young you are, Anna, you look very young in that picture, is I would try to be bringing in $2,000 a month, live off of $1,500, and take that extra $500 and build up my emergency fund. That's what I would do. So, and there are still places that are hiring that you don't need a lot of money, like for $15 an hour, $17 an hour, right? These whatever jobs, right? Something with no stress. So I'd figure it out. And in the meantime, in between time, get residency wherever you can. Get residency wherever you can. Wherever you can. That's right. Beauty fades. Useful and relevant content is forever. That's right. As a matter of fact, I was watching this one how-to YouTuber, and And they were talking about a channel that they stopped creating for 6 years ago. And they just got demonetized because the deal is like, if you go, I think I can't remember the rules, like 6 months or something like that, without posting anything new, you could potentially get demonetized. But he was making money on that all along. And in the end, it was just, it wasn't making a
Right.
lot, right? But for like years, it was still making some decent money. So what, who was that? Was that CK who said that? It's true. Pinky is true. So thank you,
Thank you,
Dennis.
Dennis.
Hey, OBU family, I'm in the gym, so may have to catch the replay, but wanted to show support. Thank you, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you
Thank you.
so much. Again, this goes to our scholarship fund for
Beyond the bling.
our financial independence program for late bloomers, and so our community thanks you as well, Dennis. We so appreciate. Glad you are getting some exercise, because Rick and I have been very lazy for the past month. And
Yeah, I need to do that. And I've been having back issues.
exactly, because we're
lately.
not exercising like we need to. All right, thank you, Paula. Good to see you. And I answered that one. All right. I'm going to uncheck all of those. And where were we at? I can't remember. I still don't remember what I was going to say. So I can't remember what I was going to say about community. All right. So I want to know who is having challenges. Who's having challenges? What were your challenges getting started? For us, I think the initial challenge, of course, was convincing Rick. But once we did the first one, he was all in. He was all in. He was writing down ideas for future live streams and things like that. So I don't think that was the issue after the first
No.
one. But some of the challenges are coming up with ideas. So that is definitely one of the challenges. And we talk about that in the side hustle challenge, and how you can do that and how you can map that out. We also have some like AI prompts and things like that, that can help you generate some ideas. That doesn't mean you just take what the AI says and just do the idea, but that will help you think of other ideas. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? So
I mean, even with the faceless YouTube channels, if you wanted to start some of the AI stuff, I sitting down one evening, and I was like, you know what? I'm more my great grandson. I wrote a story about him, and it's called The Adventures of Atlas. His name is Atlas, and I the amazing things you could do with AI is I just typed it in, told it what I wanted, the pictures that I want and everything like that, and it actually printed them out like a Disney story. Wrote this. If I told it to write a script, it would write a script for me. It does all that. There's some amazing stuff out there.
yeah, it was pretty amazing. The illustrations were good. They were good. The illustrations were good.
Oh,
It
they're
was it.
amazing.
Alex Hush. We love you, Alex and Jerry. Um, but it was, and that was just in Chat GPT, wasn't it? Was
Yeah,
that was just in
Chat
Chat GPT.
GPT.
It
Yeah.
created this with illustrations.
Yeah, I mean, I'd write a section and say, okay, illustrate this, and it would illustrate it. And on one of the things, of course, it had one of the pictures of the grandson, and he was white though. So that I just typed in "make him African American," and it printed out another picture as him as an African American. It was. There's a lot of tools out there, a lot of tools.
Yeah, there are. And so, these we talk about a lot of this in the side hustle challenge, but outside of that, these are the kinds of things when we talk about um, hard work does not necessarily make more money. You right, like there are tools out today that can help make life easier and help make things easier, life easier, things easier, processes easier, so that you can focus on the fun part of it as opposed to, the tedium. Oh, 10 to 12 years for the market to come back. Huh. Well, what do you guys think? I cannot say, oh, there's no way because blah 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 whoop de whoop. I can't say that at all. Um, there's such a shifting right now, and he's the things that he's doing. Um, um, yeah, she's got agents and stuff now, but when I found her, she didn't. Back in the day, she wasn't working with agents. She was negotiating herself, and she actually went into it with some videos on how she does the negotiations with her sponsors back in the day. But yeah, now she's big stuff. Now she's big stuff. Yeah, we're not trying to do all that. That's starting to sound like a real job when you got agents and things like that. No, I'm not trying to do all that. Not trying to do all that. So I'm not sure what this means, Paula. Yeah, it is reality. And I want folks to think about all of the things like when I was talking to the gentleman earlier about what to invest in to leave, right? All of those thought processes are the thought processes that we've been having, the thought processes that economists have been having, right? And so, you know, no doom and gloom. It's reality. Unfortunately, people prefer to have sunshine blown up their a-holes. What if you die within 4 years? Will your dependent receive your investment? Hey, Paula, not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Can I tell you about my YouTube idea and get your feedback? Geekalicious. Yes, you can do that. You can book a call with us. That information is in the description below. Um, Thank you, Action VJ. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Folks are still in denial. The folks who fuck around and find out are looking at blaming everyone except for
Of
themselves.
course.
I'm just saying. All right, I know you guys have questions. All right, I want to know who is having challenges starting their side hustle. What challenges are you having? And then we will quickly get to I've got the list. So if you know that you have a parent, a grandparent, a great grandparent, yes, from a country that you may be able to get a passport from, and you want to know if that country is on the list, let us know in the chat. Now, if you're in the comments, baby, we're not going to be answering all those comments from the future. I'm sorry. We love you. And we might not even get to all the ones in the chat, but I want to try because they're in alphabetical order by continent. So I'll hopefully be able to do that. Um, but we do want to help you if you are trying to get your side hustle going and you're having challenges. What challenges are you having? CK, see? That's what I'm talking about. Like, you know what you are interested in. You know what you are interested in. Hey, Mind Ben. And so what does not sound like fun to me is, for instance, if you are, what's up with Bahama Man? If you are a project manager, for instance, and you do that for a living, and then your side hustle is consulting by being a project manager, um, that doesn't sound like fun. That doesn't sound like a side hustle that is sustainable, because you're probably going to have to work with people that you don't want to, right? That's inevitable. Even if the person who hires you is someone who you like, um, that just doesn't sound sustainable. So that's why we say, think about what you like, what you're passionate about, what you wouldn't mind talking about for the foreseeable future. Okay. All right. This is enough. Hide that. My channel is faceless for the most part because of political issues I want to discuss. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of channels that are not faceless that talk about political issues um, that are pretty provocative. But I don't mind. I can't be mad at you in today's age when he is literally like the guy who he just wrote a book, and he wrote the book. He wrote a couple of books about Trump. And this last one, he was booked to go on all of the news programs and stuff like that, right? Because the book's about Trump, to talk about the release of his new book, and they all canceled. He was all booked, and they all canceled. They said it is a new climate, including MSNBC. They all canceled. So I think we need to cancel them. And we need to stop watching CNN, MSNBC. Like, if you guys are going to be that chicken shit, and this guy, right?
Look at independent news.
Right. And look at independent news. Right. But so yeah, Allison, if he's doing that to mainstream, it's only going to be a matter of time when he realizes, oh, everybody's now on alternative media, So, yeah. Okay, we just answered that. We did that one. We did that one. We did that one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. What do you think of investing in treasury bonds? Good idea. I don't know.
All treasury bonds.
Okay. In theory, yes, especially if you are older and you want to have something that's safe, that you'll get a little bit of a return. At least it's not devaluing, right? So in general, I would say, yeah, we wouldn't do it because they're a little bit too safe. But treasury is the part that makes me uncomfortable, right? Government bonds, period, would make me uncomfortable right now. Like, if he can just cancel contracts and people are doing work based upon a contract that they have that is payable upon delivery, and he's just canceling contracts and not paying them, and the court's saying pay, and he's like, make me. Then why wouldn't he just cancel bonds?
He can.
You're right. Like, I don't. That's the problem I have, Ryder Skater.
Yeah, he can, and he would.
Right. Is there some way that he can't touch them? Like, if somebody knows something I don't know, how do you know the BRICS structure will be successful? The U.S. is negotiating with Russia and Saudi Arabia to secure the dollar as reserve currency. They're not going to be successful. Totally awesome. And why would they? Why would Russia and Saudi Arabia do that?
Well, Russia is in BRICS.
Yeah, because Russia, yeah. Well, that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Or he's saying. What they are doing is necessary for their survival. And so, and China wants to survive. And China is a survivor. Russia's a survivor too. Both of those kind of, like, you think I'm down? Nah, here I come. I'm coming back, right? Like, they really are. They're scrappy. They're very scrappy. And so with those two kind of leading the charge, and this is regardless of the politics of either of those countries. And the people of those countries have nothing to do necessarily with the politics of those countries, just like we don't have anything to do with Mellonfeld's politics. Um, we don't know, but we do know what's failing. That's what we do know, right? Like investing is a risk, but there are ways to minimize that risk, right? And so if the foundation is solid and sound, and the business principles are sound, right? And they're not doing stupid things, then investing in a company that happens to be in a BRICS nation is a sound move to make that minimizes risk. Yeah, I like if Russia makes that deal, I'd be surprised. Russia's going to tell the melon felon anything he wants to hear to get him to do what they want him to do. And then at the end of the day, they're going to stab him in the back, just like they did the last time. They said that they were going to cease fire, and they didn't. They just broke that again, right? So that's what they're going to do. And he's so stupid that all Putin has to do is say, love the way you handle Zelensky. And he's, oh, what do you want me to do? So I wouldn't trust. Shoot. No honor among thieves. I have a high yield checking account and that paid 4.8. Oh, through a credit union. Yeah. Really, Patsy? What credit union? Shoot, I want to join. How do I join? Are they still paying that? When is enough, right? When do you stop investing and stop saving while knowing that cash flow is solidified via numerous sources? I would say when you have the amount of money that you the formula, CK, the amount of money that you want to live on annually times 25, or when you have that amount of cash flow coming in monthly from multiple reliable sources, plus a healthy emergency fund. And that's when you can stop. If we didn't have any kids, yeah, there would come a time when we would stop investing. Well, right, but we're not there yet. But yeah, that's the number. We talked about that last week. Is drop shipping a good side hustle? If you know about the side hustle, how can I get started and what to look out for? No. If you were talking about the drop shipping that I know, where you buy a bunch of inventory.
You have to purchase it, yeah.
And buy a bunch of inventory. Now, you don't necessarily have to touch any of that. That I do know, right? You buy a bunch of inventory from a wholesaler, right? They ship it to some Amazon warehouse, and then the Amazon warehouse does the fulfillment. We, Rakia, do not believe in any business that takes more than $1,000 to get started. That's number one. Number two is you're buying things without knowing if anybody wants it. And we don't believe in that either, right? And so we invested very little to get this YouTube channel started. We used the free StreamYard at first. We using our laptop, the same laptop that we had back then, we're using now. We had a couple of lights. We bought a mic, but we started without a mic. And then we started buying little platforms and things like that as we went along. But what I wouldn't do is spend $800 on some t-shirts, not knowing if anybody wants them.
No.
So, and to make a point with Beyond the Bling, we did not start working on the curriculum until someone bought it. So we pre-sold it. And the only thing that we had was the outline. We had the table of contents to what we were going to be coaching folks on for Beyond the Bling. And that's how we sold Beyond the Bling. But we said we were not going to start working on Beyond the Bling
Until we had some orders.
right? Until we had a certain amount of orders.
Yeah.
Right?
Not a order, but a certain amount of orders.
Exactly. And then once we hit the number that we felt comfortable saying, okay, this is enough money for us to do that work, then we started working on the materials. And had we not met that number, then we would have just given those folks a refund. But what we weren't going to do is spend a bunch of time, time is money. Time is not really money. Time is time, but you know what I'm saying. That's still time. I could have been doing something else, so that's an opportunity cost on doing work on something without knowing if anybody wants it. And so that's the issue that I have with drop shipping. So I know there's folks who made buku bucks drop shipping, but I don't like the model. I don't like the business model. I'm a millennial physician, and my patients ask me to do a channel, but so many dermatologists are doing that, and I like privacy. Faceless videos from a dermatologist doesn't seem right. Thoughts? When you say, Malay, that you want to be private, what does that mean? I like my privacy. First of all, it doesn't matter how many other dermatologists are out there doing it. That just means that's something that people want to hear. Okay. And none of them are going to talk about the issues of
their patients or anything like that.
No, that's not what I was going to say, but yeah, true, because the law. But none of them are going to talk about how to treat skin and whatever else dermatologists do. Sorry. The way you would talk about it, because they're not you. So that doesn't matter. It does not matter how many other people are doing a channel like that. And then when you say, you like privacy, what does that mean? Because folks act like they know Rick and I, but they don't. They see us, and so they think they know us. And we tell folks some stuff, and so they think they know us. But, the folks who do know us, like Action BJ, they know that the majority of the folks don't know us. Because we like our privacy too. Right? But that doesn't mean that you can't, know what we look like. And, it's not like, there's a cajillion people in the world. And so, I don't know. I don't know, Malay. I think that a lot of times we make more of it than it really is, And then the other thing is, if you're talking about it from a safety issue, no one has to know where you reside, and people are going to be watching from all over the world. And so, let's just say you're in Denver, Colorado, because that's where we're from. If somebody's watching in New York, they're not going to have easy access to you. So I don't know why I went there, but that when I think about privacy, that's what I think about. And so, I think we make a little bit more out of it than it needs to be. That's what I think. And I'm sure that there is a creative way to do a faceless channel about dermatology. I think you might be missing out, though, on some key demographics doing it that way. So, okay, we talked about that. What do y'all think about a second residency in Thailand? Can expats purchase real estate in Thailand? Hey, Roxanne, thought you asked that last week. So yes, second residency in Thailand.
Definitely.
And yes, I believe people can purchase in Thailand. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't she talking about those Russians driving up the costs?
Yes.
In Phuket? Yeah. So yeah. Non-citizens can buy there. For now, let your faith be your currency. Take a risk. Bet on yourself. there's something to be said for that. Thank you, Greta. And then we're gonna get to the list and we're gonna let you go. There's something to be said for that because Rick and I had to make a faith leap here. We
Yeah.
made a faith leap. A lot of things could have gone wrong, and some things did go wrong. And yet we never missed a beat, right?
Yeah.
And right, we worked through it. And it's interesting because just when it was like, okay, dang, it seems like these rental properties are costing us all this money, and blah, 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 and this would be, and I'd see that money going down in our account, we get a viral video, and then the money would shoot back up. Or you can turn on the lever yourself, y'all. And that's another thing. When I was like, I saw, right, like as soon as we got back from Thailand, I'm like, we're doing a side hustle challenge. Turn that lever on, right? Pull that lever, the money lever, and offer something that gives value to someone. And pull the lever, pull the money lever. There's money. Money's everywhere, y'all. Money's everywhere. The R&E program with no financial requirements just ended in Mexico. I know, but it said that can change. But it is said that can change. So yeah, I know. I can't remember where I found out, but somebody did a video on it, and then they were talking about it on Rashida earlier today as well.
Was it Cortez? That's the first person I ever heard about that program.
Yeah, but I don't think I heard it from him that it ended. I think it was Tia Nikki, and it's not 100% ended. So there's still ways to qualify. My understanding from what she said, the immigration person said, or the lawyer said, is that the difference is now. So before, you had to have overstayed your visa, been there within a certain amount of time, and then you could potentially qualify. Now they're like, you have to have been there since 2022 and not left. So it's gone for a lot of people. But if you're there in Mexico and you're trying to figure this out, you still could be good, from my understanding. So I just read that residency holders still need to file taxes in Panama and Mexico, and Mexican pensions included. Yeah, probably. That was Mexico's regularization program. Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. Be very, very careful and make sure that you understand what the tax requirements are for the countries that you're going to, right? And what their tax relationship is with the United States. He's also trying to get something passed that makes it criminal to say mean things about Musk. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Like, folks are losing their minds. Folks are losing their minds. And so because he's losing his mind.
Well, First Amendment out the door.
First Amendment out the door. They're arresting students now and deporting them for protesting, legal residents and stuff like that. What are we doing? And disappearing them and stuff like that? What is going on in America, you guys? What is going on? And where are you guys going? My fear is that we are headed in a direction where Americans will not be allowed to leave. Thank you, High Vibe. That is my concern too. And so if you do not have your passport, get your passport now, and get residency somewhere. Good evening, OBU. Hey, Sri. All the U.S. are already banning Caribbean leaders' visas if they are using the doctors from Cuba, Trinidad, Barbados, and St. Vincent, and U.S. can keep their visas. Oh my gosh. See? These are like things that don't even make any sense. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, all of our super sticker thanks money, super chat goes to our scholarship fund. So that's for Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom program. Okay, so for now, let your faith. Okay, got it. So that one, and then here's the last one. I have my Portuguese bank account and use that as my savings account. There you go. I just keep adding money to it. I also keep some savings in my primary account here for an emergency. That's the way to do it, Pinky. That is the way to do it. And again, we say, look, y'all, diversify that money. Diversify that money. All right. There was something else that you wanted to say about how this transformed our lives. And then I'm going down to the bottom to see if I see anything about challenges, or does anybody here think that they can get residency someplace else? Put a few Q's in front of it. I want to make sure I don't miss it. Or not residency, but a passport. So I pulled up the list, and I mean, some of these places they offer up to 3 generations.
I might be able to get Ireland.
But and so well, you might be able to get Ireland because up to 3 generations you might be able to, right? Like, I don't know. Here, let me move this. I don't know why I'm holding this like this. So it, obviously for most Black folks, it's either going to be from Europe or it's going to be from Africa, right? Right? I mean, chances are it's not going to be Asia. But if it is Asia, Mongolian, Philippines, Singapore, South Korea, and Taiwan are the ones that I know of that will offer citizenship by descent. And then in Africa, apparently, and I'm going to do some more research, but my initial research says Benin in Africa will give citizenships for descendants of enslaved people. DNA is accepted. I don't know about the quality of a Benin passport, but I tell you one thing. If he starts saying Americans come back to the United States or give up your passport, I want to be able to have another passport. Now, I don't know how quickly you can get it. I don't know how quickly they move, but I'm just saying. So the other African places that offer citizenship, a passport by descent, or from your ancestry, are Cape Verde. And if you got Cape Verdean, it probably would be easy to get Portuguese. Ghana, right of abode for the African diaspora. So just the right of abode, not citizenship. Kenya offers citizenship by descent. Nigeria, Sierra Leone will offer citizenship for African Americans who can prove descent from certain ethnic groups. Mm-hmm. And I know I have Sierra Leone in me. And then South Africa. So those were the ones. Now, there might be some Black folks who have maybe some Brazilian. They offer citizenship by descent. Colombian. There are a lot of Black folks from Colombia. They offer citizenship by descent. Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic does. Mexico, of course. Paraguay. Argentina didn't have a lot of Black people, so I didn't mention it. But so those are the places that since I didn't see anybody that said anything, those are the places that can offer you a passport if you can prove that different rules. Okay, so for some countries, it has to be your parent, but for the majority of the countries, well, let's see, up to one generation. For a good portion of the countries, it's 2 and 3 generations. See a lot of 3 generations, 2 generations. Spain is 2 generations. And then some of them, it just says by descent. So it doesn't, I can't tell how many generations, but you can start your Googles. That's where you can start your Googles, okay? So those are the countries that I read off. If you've got a country that you want to ask about, if it's in Africa, I read all the ones that I knew of from Africa. But if it's in some other place, then you can let us know, and we can let you know if it's on there. And then we're going to let you go. We are going to let you go. Hi, Rick and Halisi. I have a 1-bedroom house, no savings yet, though. I'm about to get small settlement of $3,500. I would like to buy a house when I move abroad. Should I sell or rent? You need more savings than that, lady. And why do you want to buy a house when you move abroad? I mean, it might be a good idea to buy a house, but you don't have savings, a lot of savings. So what the thought, the notion of buying a house, which is so American, right? Like the notion of buying a house, I understand because that's what we're taught. But you're going to a new country that you're not sure that you like. You don't understand the rules, the laws, the marketplace, right? And so nor do you know, I just would be cautious right now. I would remain nimble, and I would be more into having a nice, healthy emergency fund than buying a house. And so, because, okay, so you're asking, should you sell your house or should you rent? So I'm assuming if you rented it out, you wouldn't have enough money to pay cash for a house someplace else. So now you're getting a loan. And so does the place that you go to, do they give loans like they give loans in the United States? Probably not. Like here in Portugal, if you're 60, you're only going to get a 10-year mortgage, and they're going to ask you to put 50 to 60% down. And oh, by the way, you're going to have to give the previous owner or the owner a nice healthy deposit of anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $90,000 as a deposit in good faith. So
yeah, you wanna.
There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about. And then you need to think about, if you rent it out, are you good with okay, the oven goes out. You need to get a new oven, a new stove. Getting that done. Do you have the money to get it done? Because people living in your house don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear, oh, well, I got to wait until my Social Security check comes. That's not what they want to hear. They want to hear, when are you available? It will be delivered. So all of the management stuff, are you good with doing that from outside of the United States or outside wherever your house is? And so that's what you need to ask yourself. And then where's the money going to come from to make sure that you can maintain that maintenance and things like that, right? And if they move out, do you still have a mortgage on it, or is it paid off? You're not saying that. So there's a lot of questions to be asked and answered before I could make a decision on what I would do in that situation.
How much would you, if you sold it, how much would you get from it? Is it worthwhile selling?
Yeah. And so, and here's another thing. If you wait to sell it, you might get less than you could get today. That's another thing. And so we've got renters in. We couldn't sell even if we wanted to. I mean, I suppose we could sell it with renters in there, but that probably would be harder. I don't know.
I wouldn't really see anybody buying it with renters in it unless.
Exactly. And so, waiting, and then there's a glut on the market. That's my concern. Because everybody's trying to sell it and get out at the same time. So, yeah. All right. A few more. What about mobile hotspot, where you can take them to the US and other places because they are important while working remotely? Any information about those, so we all can have internet service? Hey, Zamban. People still use hotspots?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Okay, so
A
first of
lot of
all,
phones come with them.
yeah, this is our hotspot. This is our hotspot. And um and a lot of places around the world have free Wi-Fi at most places. And so the thing that you should be paying for is a VPN so that when you're on public Wi-Fi, you're protected.
Right.
But nearly every restaurant
Every restaurant, pretty much, yeah.
has free Wi-Fi. A lot of the public transportation stations have public Wi-Fi. The buses have public Wi-Fi. Um, buckling down Wi-Fi under a payment thing, that's a United States thing. That's not a worldwide thing. Most places have free Wi-Fi. So what you should make sure you can do is add a SIM card to your phone as you travel, right? And so that way you can buy an unlimited SIM for the month, right? For $50 or so, and use your phone again, still in a foreign country as the hotspot. That's what we do when we need to. So, yep. Okay, I think that's it. My maternal grandfather was Jamaican. I found his ship manifest from 1920. So trying there. Yay.
Wow, cool.
Wow, Monica, that is cool. That is cool. Look, y'all, we got to get these other passports. We've got to get these other residencies. We have to get out of Dodge. We have family from Barbados and Jamaica, but no one currently living here in the US. But I don't know how to even go about starting that process. Start by calling their immigration department.
Yeah, check with their immigration. You could probably look online.
Yeah.
You could probably go online. Their immigration process is probably there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Have you heard of a company named Cambly for teaching English online? Yep, was thinking about it. Yeah, I heard they didn't pay too well, Zam, but yeah, it's a place to get started and to build your creds, right? You can also teach directly through Preply. I will have a link in the description below, but that my link is for people who want to take lessons. Excuse me, but people who teach English can charge a lot more money. So you can list yourself on Preply as well to teach English. So yeah.
All right.
Wow, Yakota, that's so cool. That is so cool. I wish. Is in Mauritius now, learning my African ancestry results while here on the ground. Oh, wow. Cool.
Wow, going after premium visa in the next month. All right.
Covered Girl, I've heard some mixed reviews on Mauritius. Tell me how you like it. Like, how do you feel? Do you like it? Do you feel welcome? Are the people treating you well, et cetera, et cetera? Well, give us the dish. My great grandfather is from Cape Verde, so I'm starting the citizenship through descent process now.
Right.
Yes, Melanie. See, look at y'all.
Check into it. Y'all be surprised.
So Ireland, let's see what Ireland says.
Ireland, I think it's
3 generations.
3 generations, yeah.
Ireland is up to 3 generations.
That's why it's like, I could probably get Ireland if it's 3 generations.
Another person has citizenship in Sierra Leone. Right now is the best time to seek citizenship in Africa. We have Sierra Leone, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Ghana, all based on DNA. Are you kidding me? Okay. All right, Miss. This is nothing but a word. Watch. We're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5. No, not if we have the passports. I have a British birth certificate and my parents were born in Trinidad. I've lived in both countries. All right, Diamond Vale. So you are basically like, what do they call a third culture kid, because you've got three different cultures in there. Um, the islands, Britain, and America, I'm assuming, or are you in Britain? Oh, they weren't talking to us. Hey, Nubianet. Okay, I think I'm thinking that this is time. Benin, absolute no, at least for me. I'm just looking. I'm just looking for a passport, y'all. We can live anywhere we want. I just received my African ancestry certificate for Sierra Leone. Ghana does allow citizenship. Yeah, I knew they did. There are two ways: naturalization or under a special program for us under approval by the president. Okay, the writing on the website was a bit confusing, and so that's why I said what I said. Which DNA testing do y'all use for African DNA? I've just done ancestry.com, but and interestingly enough, over the years, because we did it like during the pandemic or before the pandemic or something like that. Before the pandemic, I don't know. Um, Over the years, it has gotten more and more detailed. So that's interesting. Like at first, it was putting down, like, I don't know, 30% from West Africa, let's just say. And now it's like 5% Sierra Leone, 10% Ghanaian, 20% Nigerian or whatever have you. So, yeah, it's getting a lot more detailed. Now, there's another one that will tell you the tribes that you come from, but I can't remember the name of it. If y'all know, let us know.
23andMe, is it?
No, it's called something like African DNA, something like that.
Yeah, let us know.
You let us know. Um, Wondering then if you can use evidence from ancestry to prove you are a descendant. So yeah, hey, Wisdom Rewired. So the DNA thing, according to Miss S, the DNA thing can be used in several West African countries, it looks like. So shoot. Okay, Japan, Ireland, Chile. Oh wow. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's start with
I think
Europe.
Italy was offering money to move there.
Italy up to 3 generations. Croatia up to 3 generations. Switzerland's probably going to be one. Watch. Let's see if they're even on here. They're not on here. They're not on here. Sorry. You can check Switzerland. Right now, it looks like the answer is no. Not surprised, because their visas, you have to make $100,000. But this is my research, so you might find a different answer for Switzerland. Now let's go to the Americas. Chile, citizenship by descent is what I have. And then back to Europe. Ireland, I know, is 3. And then Asia, Japan. Don't have Japan on here. Only at Mongolia, Philippines, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't. So I would check. I would just triple check. All right. And yeah, all the Caribbean islands will offer it for ancestry. My husband is waiting for his citizenship for Poland based on his father's ancestry. Wow, this EU passport will make it easy for us to move to Portugal if we choose. Oh, you all are choosing? We already decided for you. You didn't know that? I thought you knew that, Yokota.
Yokota's like, what you talking about, Willis?
Is it difficult to reverse the funds from a Portuguese bank to a US? No, they have wiring here, just like you can wire from there. So, so yeah, that's no issue. Would you recommend putting 10,000 or 20,000 in a California credit union that will earn 4% interest for 1 year? Hey, Harmony, the question is not 10,000 or 20,000. The question is, what percentage of your money is that, right? Like, I would have all of my savings in something that paid for 4% interest. And I would, as long as it was paying 4% interest, I would house my money in something that was paying 4% interest, be it that or a CD, but again, this is cash that you're going to need between now and 3.5, 4 years from now.
Right.
Okay. Maybe 5 years from now, the way the US stock market is going. So yeah, your money should be making money. And we have in our regular savings account at our regular credit union, we have virtually no money because they pay virtually nothing for it to be there. So why should we have it there? So we have just enough money that we can move some over to our checking account if we need to purchase something for one of the houses or something like that. Other than that, it basically has nothing in it, and the majority of our money are in different places where we're going to get some kind of yield. And so, yeah, there's no point in having money that's not making money sitting there. Born in USA, parents, dad from British West Indies, mom from St. Thomas, US Virgin Islands. Can I get a British passport? I don't know if they're doing that anymore. And I heard that they stopped from folks from the British West Indies, but I triple checked that. Bravo 29. I would triple check that. But you could get a British West Indies one, definitely. And St. Thomas, that's US. So, but the British passport, I'm not sure. They were offering that at one time. I'm not sure if they still are. Do you know, sweetheart?
I'm not sure.
Do you have information on house sitters and bed and breakfast? Yes. Hey, Celeste. So it's not there yet, but after we stop this live, which we're going to stop in a minute, any minute now.
She's been saying that.
Any minute now, we're going to stop taking questions. We will have information on the house sitting place in the description below. Now, bed and breakfasts, like in general, to stay at, that I don't know about. But I'm sure you can find something on VRBO or something like that. So Stephanie Ride, Halisi, dual SIM cards are the ticket. Yep. Okay, I think that's it. I think we did it. All right. So we talked about places to go. What about Scotland, ancestry for citizenship or residency? Did they mention Scotland?
I didn't see Scotland.
I don't see Scotland on here. Is Scotland technically part of
UK, I think.
Yeah, but Ireland is mentioned. I'm not sure about Scotland. I'm African American, but Scottish ancestry. Yeah, we all geekalicious have some of that stuff in us. Scotland's not mentioned. And I know the website that I got this from, Visa, I can't remember, but I've got it written down. So I will let you guys know. I'll put it in the description below afterwards. Remind me, the website that I got a lot of this from is called Visa something or other. Visa something or other. I'll put it in the description. Okay. All right, you guys. Let's get going. Trump just put a list of countries banned in the USA. I think Benin was on the list. What is he doing? He's doing any old kind of thing. I think I got that one. He's just doing any old kind of thing. Just any old kind of thing. My mom is from Montserrat. under UK rule. I'm looking into getting passport through her, the UK passport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like former empire places. I don't know what they're doing these days. Journey with US says the tribe identification
Is Cal
or something like that.
signature.
I'm not sure, Covered Girl, what that means. I'm sorry. I went through African ancestry for DNA. Okay, so it is called, it's called African ancestry for Sierra Leone. That also covers my sons, siblings, and grandchildren. It also lists our tribes. Oh, thank you, Diane. Thank you. I knew it was called African something or other. So African ancestry. All right. All right, y'all. We're about to get our different. We can go back. We can go back home. We can have a home on the motherland. That would be just amazing. Do you have information about Bulgaria? Up to 3 generations for Bulgaria, Jazzy D. DNA 88%, West African 4%, 8% UK. Oh, you are a brother, Kevin. You are a brother. I don't even think Joe had that much African in him. And he used to say he was 100%, my dad. He used to say he was 100%.
More, I think I was more Ghanaian.
You
Ghana.
are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Togo.
Gabonese ancestry. Okay. Grandfather, Carla. I bet you that will get you a passport. I guess we should see if it's on the Melon Felons list, but you like that, Jay? Look, that's what he is. Hey, Cover Girl. The Trusted House Sitters is worldwide. Now the question is, are there people in Mauritius that would want you to house sit? That's the question. But yeah, they're worldwide. And again, I will put the link in the description below so that you can get a discount because there is membership and you do have to go through a background check. And so it takes a few days, not a couple days. And somebody also asked, do the people who you're house sitting for, do they go through a background check? Yes, they do. And even a more extensive one. So yes, and yes. So, yeah, I don't know. We don't know how to do a 45-minute live anymore, you guys. I don't know what the deal is. So did you guys bounce around some when you first hit the ground? No, we did not really. I mean, we kind of bounced around in that when we left in June to do our scouting trip, we knew we basically were gone. We never moved back. We went back to pack, but we didn't even really stay in the house that we had.
No.
We ended up house sitting and we were remodeling the house for renters. So we never really moved back when we left in June. So one could say for 4 or 5 months we bounced around. But then once we moved here and into this apartment, that was it. That was it for the whole time. So Scotland is Britain. Yeah, that's what I thought. And I know that they were trying to like not Brexit with them or something like that. So, and Britain wasn't on there. Do you need a certain percentage to use DNA to get into the country for citizenship? That I don't know, Pam. That I don't know. If Miss S is still in the chat, maybe she knows. Carrot in chief is rotting from inside out and will take America down as he goes down. Yes, he is. All right, y'all. Have a stable, safe, bug-free home back home. That's my prayer. Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to let you go. YouTube changed our lives. And this side hustle, YouTube, helped us move to Europe, helped us move out of the United States and to Europe and to stay in Europe. We still are not dependent upon the money, but it helps it. First of all, that's our fun money. So, that's how we do South Africa and Thailand in the same year, right? So from that standpoint, it is great. but also it's to shore up uncertainty in very uncertain times, right? Is to make sure that we can continue to live without stress because we have a way to bring income in a lot of different ways. So not only does YouTube pay 51% of the ad revenue, eventually you could do memberships, you can sell merch on YouTube. That's all just on YouTube.
Right.
And that doesn't include any other service or merchandise, that you may offer. And the last great thing about YouTube is it brings the audience to you. You all found us.
I was going to say that same thing. I was going to say the most important thing YouTube gave us was all of you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it knew who to bring to us, right? It knew. And it brought you to us. And now you're here and you're part of the Utopian family. And we love that for you. We love that for us. And we want you to spread the word, because there is a different way of life. And we want you to have a stress, the least amount of stress as you can have. There's always going to be some, but the least amount of stress and feel safe, right? And to be in a country that actually appreciates you being there and doesn't want you to be the whipping boy. So with that, we're going to let you go and we will see you next week. We love y'all.
Be safe and take care of yourselves.
Yes. Bye. Guess that's the end of the stream, huh?